Welcome back to Carmania, the channel where passion for cars meets history, design, and performance. If you're a car lover who enjoys exploring both modern machines and timeless classics, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss our exciting videos. Today, we're taking a nostalgic ride into the world of Moskvitch vintage cars, a brand that once stood as the pride of the Soviet Union. Moskvitch may not be as famous worldwide as Mercedes, Ford, or Toyota, but in its time, it represented reliability, toughness, and practicality for millions of people. These cars carried families across cities, officials through government duties, and even adventurers across the vast landscapes of the USSR. The story of Moskvitch began in the 1940s, shortly after World War II. The Soviet Union needed affordable and dependable cars for its people, and Moskvitch became one of the leading brands to fulfill that demand. The early models, such as the Moskvitch 400 and 401, were heavily influenced by German Opel designs. They offered simple mechanics, compact bodies, and easy maintenance, perfect for the recovering economy of the post-war years. As time moved on, Moskvitch introduced models that became classics in their own right. The Moskvitch 402, launched in the mid-1950s, brought in fresh styling and more comfort compared to its predecessors. Following it came the Moskvitch 407, which gained international recognition as one of the first Soviet cars to be exported widely to Europe. With its improved engine and durability, the 407 was even used in motorsport rallies, proving that Moskvitch wasn't just about practicality but also endurance. By the 1960s and 70s, cars like the Moskvitch 408, 412, and later the 2140 became familiar sights across Soviet streets. These models combined simplicity with small touches of style, featuring chrome trims, spacious interiors, and engines that could handle the roughest of roads. The 412, in particular, became famous for its strong engine, which gave it a reputation for being dependable in almost any condition. One of the most fascinating things about Moskvitch vintage cars is how they reflected the Soviet way of life. They weren't luxurious or high-tech, but they were built tough. They could survive freezing winters, long unpaved roads, and minimal maintenance. For many families, owning a Moskvitch wasn't just about having a car, it was about freedom and mobility. Moskvitch cars also had a global presence. They were exported to countries across Eastern Europe, Scandinavia, and even parts of Western Europe. In markets like the UK and Finland, they were valued for their affordability, even if they lacked the refinement of Western competitors. Today, Moskvitch vintage models have become collectors' treasures. Enthusiasts and restorers keep these cars alive, not only for their nostalgic charm but also for the stories they carry. Seeing a restored Moskvitch on the road is like stepping back into a piece of Soviet history. That's it for today's deep dive into Moskvitch vintage cars, symbols of durability, history, and the Soviet spirit of resilience. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Carmania for more incredible stories about cars that shaped the world.